Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today, my goodness, I know it's not officially winter, but it feels like winter here in North Carolina, and it is a perfect time to go ahead and begin harvesting some of my winter veggies. So we are going to cut some kale. I'm going to share with you a fantastic new recipe that I have for saving radishes. Y'all, this is my new obsession. I love this recipe with these radishes. I know it's crazy, but it is delicious. And then we are going to clean up the steps going up to the chicken coop, because between the leaves and then the plants that are in there, my steps are being overtaken, and we're going into winter, right? And so it is not a good idea to have lots of wet, thick leaves going into freezing temperatures, what happened today. So we're going to spend some time here in the garden. Again, I know it's not officially winter, but when you wake up and everything is frozen and it is quite chilly here in North Carolina, it feels like winter. So what we are doing, of course, we are up here at the garden boxes, and behind me you can see, look at all that beautiful kale just shimmering and shining so much. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to harvest that. I'm going to show you how I do it so that I have a beautiful succession of kale throughout the entire season. But first, let's talk about radishes, because radishes are one of those vegetables that I included have overlooked. They are full of all these great nutrients. They are so good for you, as Jerry said when I was like, hey, did you know how good radishes are? And he was like, Jenny, if it's organically grown in your garden, odds are it's going to be really healthy for you. So I was like, okay, touche, I agree. So we are going to harvest some of those radishes. I have two different kinds. I know one is ready. I'm not sure about the other one. We'll check on that. And like I said, I'm going to share with you a way to pickle radishes. Oh my, it is so delicious. All right, so let's get to harvesting and let's talk about some fun recipes with radishes. All right, my friends, so here we are standing at the garden box that has my radishes and my carrots together. And oh my gosh, y'all, because we're blessed and cursed to have all of these gorgeous hardwood trees, but the leaves this time of year, they are prolific and everywhere. I digress. So what we're going to be looking at are our radishes. You were with me when I direct sowed these on October the 3rd. Whenever I write my tags, I put the name on the front and then I put the date on the back when I planted, because as Jerry says, I have a memory of a gnat and I cannot remember a lot of things. So these are those Sora radishes, S-O-R-A. These are going to be your typical radishes that we think about, right? So these are going to be those beautiful, cute little red radishes. So let me show you what it looks like. Look at that cutie patootie right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just simply, you can kind of see how the tops are when they're in the ground, and so you can really kind of see how big they're going to be. So I am not using the tops, the leaf part, right? I guess I could juice them, I don't know, put them in a salad, I don't know. I'm just going to snap them off like this. So this is what I want, and then the chickens get this part. So no part goes to waste. And then I am just going to keep a pile of my tops over here, and then I'm going to throw in the fruit veggie part into my little colander. Then I can take it into the house. Look at these. They're gorgeous. So, okay. So get to the point of the recipe. So, you know, we all are trying, I think, a lot of times to be the healthiest version of ourselves, right? And so it's a journey. And the older you get, you're like, okay, I gotta take care of myself. And that was one reason why I wanted to plant the veggie garden up here this winter time, and to have all these beautiful fresh veggies for our family. And radishes are like the easiest crop ever to grow and super easy to harvest. But I'm like, what do you do with a radish, right? I mean, I know you can chop it up and put it in a salad, but I mean, one can only eat so many radishes in a salad, in my opinion. So just looking at different recipes and listening to different health professionals, they're talking about how, you know, it's a really good way to use vegetables is to pickle them. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds fun. And I was like, well, I know you can pretty much pickle anything. So let's see if Professor Google can find me a recipe for pickled radishes. Well, sure enough, the Pioneer woman had a recipe for pickled radishes. And this is one that you just make a super easy brine on the stovetop. Of course, you wash your radishes, get all the dirt off of them, take the little tail roots, the little taproot off of them, and then you slice them really thin. The recipe called for shallots to add also with the radishes. I didn't have shallots, but I did have some garlic, so I went ahead and took a couple of cloves of garlic, put it in there as well. So you make this great little pickle brine on the stovetop, and then you pour it over the radishes in a glass container, let it cool completely, throw it in the fridge, and it lasts for like 2 to 3 weeks in the fridge. It's actually ready to eat in a couple of hours. And y'all, when I tell you it is my latest obsession, these things are so stinking good. My poor family kind of looks at me like I'm crazy. They're really kind of used to it by now. But I just get so excited about, you know, growing your own veggies and then finding a fun way to eat them, and a different way to eat them. So at Thanksgiving, every time somebody came over, I was like, oh, you got to taste these pickled radishes. It was a great hit. Also thinking about like with the holidays, I don't know about you, but we like to have, you know, we'll have family over. Of course, with our employees, we'll do like a Christmas party. I love a good charcuterie board. These are perfect to put on your charcuterie board, and they're so stinking easy. All right. So I've got, now I could keep on picking these radishes, but I have got a nice little selection of these red radishes. Let me show you. They're so beautiful. Look at that. Ah, aren't they gorgeous? Just lovely. All right, now let's come over here, and these are, I may be mispronouncing these. These are a type of daikon radish. It's Cayenne Bravo, and I really haven't harvested any of these yet, so we're going to see. Hopefully it'll go. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, how pretty are these going to be? I love it. Look, so those daikon radishes, they're longer, they have more of a purple hue to them. Oh, fantastic. Now I will say that when after your radishes have kind of sat in their brine for, I don't know, a couple days, they start to turn pink. So when you first, you know, make them, you have the white of the radish, the flesh part, and then the skin, of course, is that red. Well, like I said, after a couple of days, the red starts to bleed, and then you have this lovely shade of pink radishes. Oh my gosh, y'all, they are so good. Oh, a couple of little flakes of crushed red pepper in there too. Oh, fantastic. I'll put the link for the recipe in the comments, so that way if you want to make them, I'm sure you could use this recipe for cucumbers. I mean, like literally carrots. I mean, green beans, probably anything that you could think of, you could pickle this way. They are so stinking good. All right, I'm gonna harvest a couple more of these radishes, and then we're gonna move on to some kale because it is gorgeous, and I'm ready to make a salad for supper tonight. Radishes have been picked, so we've got a nice little colander full of the radishes to make our pickles. Now, I have got 3 different kinds of kale here. I have got the White Russian, the Frisée Rouge, which is a nice kind of a dark purple, and then I have Dazzling Blue. We cut our teeth in horticulture of growing vegetables to take to our local farmers market. And so we would grow, I mean, everything from lettuce in the spring to tomatoes and okra and corn and all sorts of things to take in the summer. And for the farmer's market, I would cut them as a head, right? So when I would grow lettuce and kale, I would grow it as a head and then cut it because most people made a beautiful presentation and most people like that. However, For me personally, I like to cut the individual leaves. And so here in a second, I'll zoom in, but basically I have my kitchen shears. So these are my scissors that I use in the kitchen for, you know, cutting meats or whatever I need to cut. So instead of going down to the bottom and cutting the entire head of the kale, I'm just simply coming through and cutting the individual leaf of the kale. And then I'm throwing it into, I have a salad spinner, and so this is what goes inside the salad spinner. So that way it acts as a colander. I can take it in the house, I can rinse any dirt, debris off, and then I can put it then in the salad spinner and get it nice and dry. So of course, kale is a fantastic cool weather crop, and we are incredibly blessed here in North Carolina that we do have, relatively speaking, very mild temperatures. And so we can grow these kind of winter crops and have fresh vegetables from our garden basically year round, especially here in the wintertime when we're just kind of craving some good fresh produce. And that's why I love doing this. So what I'm going to do is just go through, I'm just kind of working it back and forth. I want to get a mix because I am going to do a salad for supper tonight. We're going to have we're having roasted chicken, and what goes great with roasted chicken than a nice little salad. And so we're going to do kind of a fall salad of some kale. One of my favorite things, I don't have it today, but is to take some fresh pears and you peel them, slice them up, and roast them. Oh my goodness, a little olive oil, salt and pepper, and you roast them and they get so lovely and caramelized. They are delicious. My family loves them, and so it makes a great topper for a salad. I don't have any today, but I do have some apples, so we'll throw some apples in there, some candied pecans, and call it a day. So all I'm doing is coming through here and cutting this up. Let me get the camera zoomed in close, because y'all, this is not hard, but I know some of y'all like to get really up close and personal and see exactly what I'm doing. So let me show you. So what we're gonna wanna do is take these outer leaves that are the larger ones, and we're gonna cut those. What you want to leave, and y'all, does it bother me that a little critter, a little bug was eating my kale? No, it does not. That's why I'm gonna go home, take it in the house, rinse it off, because if a bug likes to eat it, then I know it is nice and safe and organic for me to eat it. So a little bug damage like that does not bother me whatsoever. But what you want to leave are these nice little tender baby shoots right here in the middle, because that's what's going to keep the plant alive and to keep growing. So that way you can keep coming in throughout the entire season and, you know, harvest your kale. So again, you can see like these little tender babies right here. This is what we're going to leave, and we're just going to take the outside. When you have the leaves that are nice and young and tender like this, it's great for salads. If you want to let it grow bigger, then that's when you could probably go ahead and saute it. I mean, I'm sure you could probably saute this as well, but I just think it might get a little too mushy and not hold its form really well. So there you go. We have got a nice little collection. I'm probably going to cut some more because this may be enough of a salad for 2 people, but I have 4 people that I need to feed. So I'm going to cut some more, and then we're going to clean up the steps going up to the chicken coop. All right, my friends, so the lettuce is cut, the radishes are picked. Now with your lettuce or any kind of like, not the lettuce, kale, right? So what you're going to want to do again is rinse it really good, get all the dirt, debris, any kind of little, maybe there's a little aphid or something on there, it'll be fine. Rinse it, spin it. Then to store it, I like to wrap it in a dry paper towel, put it in a plastic bag, stick it in the fridge, and it will last for quite a while, especially being this fresh. So there you go. It's going to be a delicious supper with that fresh kale salad. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to focus on these steps. Y'all, they are a mess for sure. So we are going to get all of the leaves blown off. They are super thick because I've got all of these hardwood trees here, and I need to see what I'm working with. So number 1, we're going to blow off the leaves. And then number 2, let me show you this creeping Jenny. It has just been a year since we installed these steps leading up to the chicken coop. You can just see the tips of them in, oh my gosh, just sticking out. Y'all, these are some really big stone slabs, and between the creeping Jenny, the leaves, and yeah, mostly the creeping Jenny, you really cannot see any of the steps. And again, especially this time of year, it is quite, it's a little bit of a safety hazard because I need to be able to step assuredly on the ground. And then also I have got some weeds that are hiding underneath the leaves. So take this massive dandelion-like, you know, weed that is here. So what we're going to do is Jackson's going to get the backpack blower started for me because on this cold morning it's going to be a little bit of a bugaboo. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these leaves and I'm going to blow them into the woods right over there. Yes, I am. It will be fine. They can decompose over there in the woods. So first of all, we're going to get the leaves out of the way so we can see what we're doing, and then we're going to get this area cleaned up and look at a little bit neat and tidy as we go into this cold season. My friends, so I got the majority of the big thick leaves are out. Now by no means is a landscaper going to be calling me anytime soon to ask for me to come work for them to blow leaves, but I know that sometimes it can be controversial whether or not to blow your leaves or to remove your leaves from your garden. Here, one, again, safety issue. I got to be able to walk up and down these steps without falling. Two, I need to see my weeds because I have got literal trees growing right here. So I've got a maple tree right here. I have got weeds. I need to get those out. And then also, like, because the leaves are so incredibly thick, they are starting to kill my plants because plants need sunlight to grow, correct? And so if they're completely covered up in these thick leaves, they can't get the sun, they can't do the photosynthesis, and so they will die. And so that is why we are doing it. Now, creeping Jenny, some of you love it or you hate it. In the right application, I absolutely love it. And I do think that these steps are a great place for the creeping Jenny. It clearly loves its location because, like, I can pull out huge sections of it. It is growing right on top and covering my steps, and I need to be able to, again, see my steps. So I would rather be pulling out a plant that is too happy and too vigorous than worried about having all of these bare spots and having erosion that is going on in here. So literally you cannot hurt creeping Jenny. I mean, it is one of those plants. It does great in containers. Maybe you like it, but you don't like it in your yard because it's too vigorous. Well, then stick it in a container, you know? It naturalizes really well. It will, I could, if I wanted to, if I had other bare spots, I could come in here and take it and I could, you know, plant it into the landscape and it would do just fine. So what I'm going to do is just spend some time on this gorgeous sunny day in the garden. I'm going to get my steps cleaned up, and then I'm going to focus on the big obvious weeds that I can see. I'm not going to fret too much about it. Again, my main goal is to clear the steps so that I have an easy, accessible way to get up to the chicken coop this winter. All right, my friends, so there you go. The steps, you can see them again. They are alive and well after we got them all cleaned up from the creeping Jenny that was doing exactly what its name suggests, and it was creeping. So got a good number of, had those like dandelion weeds in here, so got those all out. But you can just see, like on these steps, the little part that is dry versus what is still wet. So that's all that I was being able to see from my steps, was the little dry part. And again, you know, with creeping Jenny, it makes an excellent ground cover. You may not want to put it in your garden, but you know what? That is the beautiful thing about gardening, is that you can do what you want in your garden, and I can do what I want in my garden, and it all works out quite lovely. So got all that cleaned up, and then it was even kind of taking over some of the ajuga. Got it all cleaned up so you can see again the ajuga lives, but we do have some bare spots over here, and the reason that I want to try to cover as much bare spots that I have is because it helps prevent erosion, right? Helps prevent erosion, it helps control the weeds. So I'm not going to plant creeping Jenny because heaven knows I've got plenty of that. I do have some early creeping phlox over here. That's what those little dark kind of woolly patches are. So I'm going to see what kind of ajuga we have left over at the garden center, and then I can fill in those empty spots right there. The lovely mat that is right here, this kind of low sedum-like plant, that is Delosperma. That is an ice plant, and I have them on this side of the steps, and then I also have them on the other side, which is, I need to come back in here again and kind of clean it up because the creeping Jenny is kind of taking that over. A lot of times the creeping Jenny will just grow kind of on the surface, so you can lift it off, and it will start to root, but it does have those really long tendrils, so you can clean it up that way. Again, I've got some bare spots over here. I could put ajuga in there if I wanted to. You know, the possibilities are endless, or I could put in some other kind of perennial. But there you go. A chilly start to the day. You can see I shed my coat. That is the thing about late fall, winter gardening, right? When the time allows and the weather allows, get out there and do something. We're just coming off of our Thanksgiving break, and so we have not been in the garden for several days now, and I just started to kind of go stir crazy. Like I love being domestic. I love being inside and doing the things and being all snuggly, especially in the cold months. But I have to get out and get some sunshine. I have to get out and get the vitamin D and the fresh air and just listen to the birds. It just does something for my spirit. So I just have to be outside. This morning was quite chilly, and then tomorrow is going to be like the yuckiest, most miserable day. It's going to start raining tonight. It's supposed to be like the high tomorrow is like 40 and raining. It is going to be disgusting. Hence why I'm outside today, and hence why the dog is with me too, because she's going to start to go crazy as well. So I know that some of you, depending on where you live, maybe you already have snow on the ground. Maybe you have already been, quote, snowed in for the winter and you can't get out into your garden. If that's the case, if you just have a day with some sunshine, just get out and get some sun on your face. You know it makes you feel better. I don't need you to tell you that it makes you feel better. But if you are like me and you are in a part of the country or the world that is not covered in snow, just get outside and do something. No matter what it is, it always makes us feel so much better to get outside, get off of technology, and just be outside, put your hands in the dirt, and just piddle. This is a great time of year where we can just go and piddle in the garden. If you don't know what piddling is, piddling means that you do a little this, you do a little that, not a massive, big, huge project. But you tinker, right? You tinker in the garden. You hop from one thing to the other and just makes yourself feel better. So that is what I probably will be doing for the next couple of days as we transition through this kind of nasty weather here back and forth. But 'tis the season, right, for gardening. It's okay. It's all fun. As always, we hope you have found this fun, informative, inspirational. I'm gonna go inside and wash some kale and make some pickled radishes. It's going to be fantastic. I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.